Are you about to start studying for the PMI ACP exam and are looking for some first-hand tips on how to study for it and just get it over with fast? I was looking for the same thing and honestly couldn't find that much. But I passed my exam within 3 weeks while working a 9 to 5. So let me share some of my tips with you. I'll walk you exactly through how I studied for it, what resources I used, and what my exam day experience actually looked like. And one mistake that I could have avoided that nearly ruined it all. Hi, I'm Lara. I'm a strategy consultant and project lead for a boutique consulting firm in Berlin. And I've been doing the PMI ACP exam while working full time. And here's how. For the exam, you need to take 28 training hours or contact hours, where they basically teach you all the stuff you need to know for the exam online. So from Monday to Sunday, every day after work and also on the weekends, I try to study at least 2 hours per day for 2 weeks straight, equaling 28 training hours. And how I did it is I basically went through the material at 1.5 times the speed. I honestly wouldn't recommend doing it faster than that. I've personally felt that 2 times the speed of the video was way too much for me to process any of the information that were being said. So I would recommend stay between, just watch it at 1, like the actual original speed, or 1.5 at max. And then even though I watched it faster, I did pause on some of the parts where I felt, okay, they are really important. I need to dive deeper into this. This is maybe some principle or some aspect of agile project management that I haven't heard before and that I just need to get a better grip on. And then in the end, it pretty much took me exactly 28 hours anyways. So the speeding up was more about speeding up the parts that I felt like I knew already, and pausing at the moments where I needed to pay some extra attention. So that in the end, it took me 28 hours to study for it. Then once I had the training hours, I submitted my PMI ACP application, because you basically have to first upload the certificate that proves that you've done the 28 training hours. And also you need to file an application where you're going to say what you're currently working on, what kind of agile project management experience you've had before. And after that, it took around 2 to 3 days for PMI to get back to me and to accept my application. I honestly thought it was going to be way faster. I thought it was kind of going to be immediate. I think I did it on a Thursday and I received the confirmation on Monday. And then on Tuesday, I logged into my account, I paid the exam fee, and then you can also schedule your exam. And I basically scheduled it on Tuesday for Thursday, so only giving me 2 more days. I also have to say, I did not really continue studying while I was waiting for the PMI application to be confirmed. So I did my 2 weeks, as I said, then filed the application, stopped and had a little study break for 2 to 3 days, and then started again once I actually had my exam date in my planner. In those 2 remaining days, I basically did as many mock exams as I could. I studied my notes that I've taken throughout the 28 training hours, and also tried for sure to learn some of the principles and Agile Manifesto values, for example, by heart. Then on Wednesday, I definitely did panic a little bit because I felt like I could have easily pushed the exam back another week. It would have given me more time to prepare, and that I was kind of like prematurely scheduling that exam. I don't know if that was just the panic before the exam, but I would probably recommend that 4 weeks, if you have the time, like just do it in 4 weeks. I think 4 weeks is better than 3. But yeah, it's manageable in 3, but maybe with a little bit more stress. So for the 28 training hours, I did a Udemy course from TIA Education, which is an officially approved course to prepare for the exam from the Project Management Institute. I'm going to put the link in the description. I was lucky because I got the course for 15 euros back in the days. I think right now it's back to its original price, which is 100 euros. If you know Udemy, you know that they have several discounts throughout the month. So just keep an eye out for it. They do not have a price alert function, but there is a free Google Chrome extension, which you can install, which will basically give you an alert on when items from your wish list, from your Udemy courses, are being decreased in price and when there's a discount. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend give it a couple of days to observe this, get the Google Chrome extension, and then save a lot of money. So I really like that course because the teacher, Andrew, he really explains all of the core elements of agile project management in a really clear way. He overemphasizes some of the values and principles. And I think repetition is key to really get it into your head. It also comes with really clear exam instructions, a breakdown of how the exam is going to go down, what types of questions they're going to ask you. And you also have, after each chapter, a free mock exam included in the preparation course so that you can directly or immediately test your knowledge after each chapter. I have to say, it wasn't the most visual training. So sometimes when he was, for example, talking about burn up, burn down charts, and so on, I would then pause the video and Google pictures of those types of diagrams just to make sure I actually know what he's talking about. And also because you might get some visuals like this in the exam, and then you're just better prepared if you've seen a picture of it beforehand. Another option would be to take the official course from PMI ACP, the exam prep course, basically. But for me, that was just way too expensive because the exam itself obviously already has its fees, but then the preparation for it, I think, costs around another 300 euros. So I really tried to get around those costs and try to avoid them. And also, the PMI also has a mock exam or a couple of mock exams that you can buy in advance. And they are another, I think, around 90 euros. So, what I basically did next to the 15 € Udemy course with TIA Education, I also got a 15 € Udemy mock exam course. I would say was quite tough. It's really long questions. The English is really not the best. That could definitely be improved. But it has a lot of questions where you have to apply situational judgment. So I think those are harder questions, and it's really good to practice them just over and over. It also gave me a better, I think, indication of how long I'm going to take for each of those questions in the actual exam. And then after I did each exam, I would go through the ones that I got wrong. And it comes with an explanation, what you did wrong, what would be the better answer, and why. And I thought that this was definitely really helpful. And then I also did as many of free mock exams that I could find online. And I also put all of the links to those free mock exams into the description. Lastly, I also downloaded an app. It's called Pocket Prep. And they also have a paid version, but they also give you 75 questions for free. Other than the Udemy course, the Udemy mock exams, all of the free mock exams that I found, and the free 75 questions on Pocket Prep, I did not have any other resources to study. I did not get a book, but I've heard from a lot of people that the Mike Griffith book that you can buy, for example, on Amazon for around, I think, like 80 euros, that with this, it's also definitely a really good support in preparing for your exam. So if you feel like the resources that I've listed do not sound like enough for you to get you confidently through the exam, I would recommend getting that book. Now come exam day, and let me tell you, that was a crazy hectic day for me. So you can decide whether you want to do the exam in a test center, so physically go there, or if you want to take it online. And of course, me being lazy and overconfident that everything's going to work out fine, I decided to take the test online. And then once you signed up for that online test, they send you loads of information. Honestly, they bombarded me with so many documents, I didn't read through all of them. And then on the day itself, on the exam day, was a Thursday, I realized that I did not run a system check, which you need in order to see if your laptop is actually working with the software that you're going to do the exam on, because it's basically going to monitor your laptop and all, and you need to, yeah, just adjust a few of your settings. And I thought, easy, like my laptop is just going to work out fine. And then I did the system check 2 hours prior to the exam, and of course, it did not work. And here's why. This was my work laptop. So my employer naturally has a lot of firewalls, or using VPNs and all that stuff. And that would not allow the test software to monitor my screen, basically. I don't have a private laptop. So that's the only laptop I basically had. I'm freaking out. I contacted the support. I was like, is there any other way to do this maybe in a browser and not without having to download a software? They were not really helpful, I have to say. They basically just told me no. So I ended up texting one of my colleagues at work, and actually also our IT department, and they were both super helpful. My colleague, she jumped on her bike, drove home, and collected her private laptop. And the IT department actually gave me a laptop which didn't have the software from the company pre-installed, so that was kind of like a private laptop, and lent them to me for the duration of the exam. So then I'm rushing to the office, collect both the laptop from my colleague, the one from the IT department. I also have my own laptop there with me for whatever reason. So I'm just running around with 3 MacBooks through the city at this point, hoping that no one's gonna like rob me now. Um, and I make it home. I'm just sitting there trying to get it run, and it actually worked on one of the laptops. I think like 5 minutes prior to the start of my exam. So woo, did it, but that was stressful. So advice here: if you do decide to do the test online, make sure you do it on a private laptop. Do the system check at least 2 to 3 days before, and then also do another system check on the day of the exam. And if you maybe want to avoid the struggle altogether, maybe actually consider going to a test center. Then the exam finally started, and they give you 3 hours for 120 questions, which is around 1.5 minutes per question. And I have to say, in all of the mock exams, I was always way faster. It took me sometimes only 45 minutes to complete them all, but maximum, I would say, 2 hours. So I was really confident that I was going to go through the exam really fast. In reality, though, after 90 minutes had passed, I was not nearly done with half of the questions. And also, I felt like I wasn't certain on any of the answers I gave. But I tried not to panic, because I knew this was not going to make things better for me, thinking about how I'm running out of time. So instead, I just marked all the questions for review and reviewed them after the first half before submitting the first part of the questions. And definitely gave me a better feeling to read over them again. One thing that really helped me with getting through the questions was the highlight function. So I used the highlight function to highlight that part of the question where I thought that's the essence of it, and that's what they're actually trying to ask us and what they want an answer to. And then I also used the strike through option to, within, let's say, four possible answers that they were giving, I was able to at least cross out one or two where I definitely thought that they were incorrect answers, so that when I went back to review my questions, it didn't take up that much time to read through all of the options, all of the response options again, but I could only focus on two of them where I thought, okay, one of them is the right answer. And then after the first 60, for me, rather bumpy questions, they give you the option to take a 10-minute break. Honestly, take the break, because I used it to go to the toilet and drink some water, but mainly I used it to do a short breathwork session, because through that you can really regain some focus, you can calm your nervous system, and you'll be much more focused going into the second half. And that's exactly what happened for me. I was way calmer and way more confident, and I went through the second half of the questions much faster, making up for some of the lost time from the first half. marking fewer questions because I just felt more confident in the answers that I gave. So, my tip here for you is use the highlight function for the key parts of the question, use the strike through option to cross out incorrect answers, and take a 10-minute break to regain some focus and energy, all while actually taking the timer seriously. At the end, I literally submitted within the last 10 seconds. And after that, I got a very plain looking message saying something hidden about reward and celebrate. But I was very confused as to whether I passed it or not. Um, I was like 80% sure from the message. So don't expect like fireworks or anything. But then it also took like another 1 or 2 days until they updated it in my PMI account. And I could actually see that I passed. You could see a breakdown of your score. And then, yeah, could definitely feel the relief. So that was my full study journey and how I passed the PMI ACP in just 3 weeks, with hopefully some helpful study tips here and there. If you're planning to take the exam too, make sure to check out my next video where I basically explain how to fill out the PMI ACP exam application. And if this video helped you at all, feel free to leave a like or maybe even subscribe if you enjoy this kind of project management content. Also, comment below if you pass your exam, or if you're looking for a study buddy, or if you need any more help with making a personalized study plan for you. I can definitely help you with that. Thanks for watching and good luck on your exam.